Did the government just serve these union-backed protesters a supersized victory for the new year? Hello, everyone. I'm Charles Payne in for Neil Cavuto, and Fox on top of a government move that could send jobs way down. The administration's labor board filing charges against McDonald's, claiming it violated its workers' rights during those union-backed minimum wage protests. Could this ruling violate all workers? Today at McDowell, Charlie Gasparino, Adam Lashinsky, and Gary Kaltbaum. Neil and Ben Stein will be back next week. All right, Gary K.
Look, this is just the government picking winners and losers. They don't like McDonald's because McDonald's will not kowtow to them. Imagine they're telling McDonald's that they can't fire people or they can't lower the amount of hours for employees. This is just an absolute joke. It could affect things if they try to break up the franchisee-franchisor relationship. I don't think that's going to happen, but nothing good comes from when the big arm of the government is got the big mallet pounding you on the head.
Dagan, that's been the firewall, sort of, for McDonald's. In other words, these are small businesses. These are franchisees. People save their money up. They buy a franchise. Somehow the government can link them. No, you guys are one unit, and we want to take the whole thing down.
They're doing it now because of a single decision by the National Labor Relations Board, basically feeding the White House what it wants. Joint employer is how they define McDonald's, and it's going to shape franchise agreements across the nation in various industries. It is going to eventually destroy jobs, and it just upends basically many industries as we know them. Hotels, fast food, you name it, they're going to get hurt. But
is there no recourse? I mean, or they're just ramming this down their throats?
They could fight it, but they could fight it in court. But how long is that going to take?
Is this really, Charlie, about ultimately forcing these McDonald's to go to $15 minimum wage? I mean, is this ultimately, and unionizing all this
We should
stuff?
point out the recourse is a change in Washington. That's the recourse. Because when you get a change in the executive branch, you get a change in his appointees, and this could be reversed.
What if the damage is done over the next few years?
I mean, listen, I think this is a really dumb thing. I mean, listen, franchisees are small businesses. They have a relationship with a corporate parent. The corporate parent doesn't own them, doesn't tell them what to do, helps them out, so to speak. But I mean, you know, it seems like the Obama administration wants to destroy a business model that has worked very well and has hired a lot of people.
How about millions and millions, Adam? I understand that the administration and the unions have joined at the hip, but to Charlie's point, they are going after the most vulnerable. I mean, people think of, McDonald's owners, these are all very, very rich people. Right. But in a lot of cases, these are people who put everything they had together, saved up for years, and they're taking a shot at the American dream.
Look, I don't know that anybody thinks that McDonald's franchise owners or any other franchise owners are rich people, or if that's really the issue here.
Well, maybe those people who protested in front of these stores.
No, the opportunity here is to go after a large corporation, which is exactly what you would do if you were trying to, if you were trying to organize and effect change. Big policy change. You go after a company like McDonald's.
But that's not what you got here. You got a bunch of small businesses.
Well, that's fine. Well, there's no question that they are acting as an arm of McDonald's, that they're tied at the hip.
They have a relationship with them. It's not the same thing. You're making it sound like there's a subtle difference. There's not.
No, in this instance, you're being legalistic. I mean, they're essentially part of McDonald's.
Well, let Adam present the case.
I understand they're separate legal entities. And the question is, the Washington in this case is trying to look out for the workers, and this is a battle. There's plenty of recourse, by the way, Charles.
Can I be a little...
There's the courts,
I'm going to be less legalistic here. Yes, they are separate legal entities.
Right.
But these franchisees, and I'm not being legalistic when I say this, Adam, they operate as small businesses. The corporate parent does aid them. Well, if you understand that, then you should understand that they're attacking thousands of small businesses around the country. They're not attacking GE. They're not attacking JP Morgan. You're equating...
And they're definitely not attacking Google.
Yeah, yes, he's equating McDonald's franchise to Google.
Yeah. I want to bring you back in,
franchises.
Because, you know what?
Every English professor attacked
Charlie's talking about thousands of employers rather. We're talking about millions of jobs. I think all the work is done, and we're going to be academic about this thing, and it's proven. All of the things they're trying to force down these people's throats, if they have to do it, if you force these small businesses to go ahead and pay $15 an hour, instead of 25 employees, they're going to have 17 employees. And in my mind, the whole thing backfires miserably.
Look, everything they do is illogic. They go after the great success stories like McDonald's, like Walmart. And in a case of like McDonald's, if you start forcing the $15 down, here's what's going to happen. Managers are going to look at the skills and say, you don't get the skills of $15, you don't have them, and we're not hiring you. So people that would get a job for $10 or $11 would not get it $15. That is going to affect things. And if you have 10 stores and you have 100 employees, I guarantee you're going to end up with only 90 because you're not going to want to absorb the costs that are being mandated on you by a government.
Dagan, it's just so backwards to me that the government would say, we want to go to war. And this is what Adam essentially is saying. We want to go to war with job providers, with institutions and organizations that are creating jobs. We want to go to war with them on behalf of the workers that they're
those jobs aren't good jobs unless they're union jobs in the minds of Democrats.
I'd like back in on that.
But that's how they behave. If it's not a union job, it's not a job worth having. And it's about control. It's shocking that this decision at the National Labor Relations Board could upend industries. It could upend the entire franchise model in this country with one decision.
I think about what the labor movement was based on. As someone from a union household, and I like unions, think about what it was based on. People working in sweatshops, in coal mines, in very dangerous jobs. Think about what you're doing now. You're attacking McDonald's franchisees. How low can the labor movement go that they are attacking small business people who run hamburger stands?
Adam, I mean, this is probably just the bottom line is that they're desperate, right? I mean, this is essentially what's going on here. This is their last chance, and I think they're playing their hand the wrong way, but this is desperation.
Look, you want to make blanket statements. This is about, from their perspective, this is about worker protection. You're ignoring 100+ years of
nothing
labor
about
history.
worker protection.
And here's my blanket statement. I'll direct it directly at you, Gary. There's no worker protection clause that you like, just the way there's no tax that you like. So if you want to make blanket statements, be honest about
Adam,
it.
what's the worker
You're not
protection?
interested
What
in this
protection
topic.
are you talking about, Adam? What protection?
Hey, Charles, but businesses have grown in this country not because of government, because of the decisions of great business makers. I trust them to do what's right, not what Washington, D.C. says. We've gotten to the point this economy has got so big because of us.
Think about what the labor movement and Adam is conflating. Worker protection in coal mines with $15 an hour at McDonald's and worker protection.
Not only coal mines. Times change, Charlie.
Absurd comparison. You've sunk that low.
Hold on a second. Adam, tell us. I'm really confused about where the worker protection part came in. Where is the great threat of working at Mickey D's? What is it right now? You got to, is it elbow, tennis elbow? I mean, black lung? Help me out here.
Well, sure. The specifics are, if you want to have a policy conversation, you said it earlier. The policy conversation here specifically is about the minimum wage. And that's fine. We can debate whether or not we like it. But there's a long list of things we could talk about. It doesn't happen to be black lung. It could be protection from a deep fat fryer, for all I know. The point is there a role?
My point is
there a role for worker protection or not? I say yes. You say no.
The National Labor Relations Board has had the ability to protect workers at the franchise level, but instead they're trying to rope the corporate parent in and control McDonald's, the corporate entity. That's what they did. The franchisees set the employment contracts and they set the rules, but instead the NLRB has come up with a way to lasso McDonald's, which is one of the great whales.
And by the way, guys, before we move on, the bottom line is, wasn't the National Labor Relations Board designed to help workers, not to be a recruiting arm for the unions? I mean, that in of itself is disingenuous and wrong in my mind.